Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is Carla from Planet Union, and I am here to talk to anyone who wants to talk with me about life in general. There's no complete topic, although I think I have some things in mind. I have my friend Victor Irving Jenkins, who I just call Victor, and he's here to make sure I have someone to talk to the whole time. But come and join us. It's a time for the planet to get together. We do it using virtual sources now. We use Zoom, we use StreamYard, we use Restream, we use Facebook Live, we use all these different platforms. And we're kind of still stuck in our own little towns because of the pandemic. So instead of staying stuck in our own minds, why don't we open our minds and begin talking to people around the planet? I've been doing this for 4 years now, and it's been the best experience of my life. I do other things. I don't just do this. But the more I speak with people around the planet, the more I grow and the more I develop. And I will put the link for this show in our chat. And also I will put it in the banner going across so you guys can join us and be a part of it. And here is Ali Raza Khan. Okay, Victor and Ali, can you take over for a few minutes?
Is that a new mouth? Did you just pick up that mouth today?
I think I did. But I need you to talk.
Sure. When I was a boy, they used to call me Mouth Almighty because I never stopped talking. I always enjoyed talking. So if you need me to talk, we can talk. Of course, I'll have to allow Ali an opportunity to talk as well. I'll try not to monopolize the camera. Hello, Ali.
Be honest, Victor. That's why I brought you, so I didn't have to talk an hour to myself.
No way. If I walk into an elevator, I can be the only one there. But when I come out, I will have met a new best friend because I was probably talking to myself while I was in there. And it's a relatively new phenomenon because even when I was a boy, I used to talk all the time. As I grew up and got a sense of other people and the rest of the world, I sounded kind of weird to myself. So I really didn't like the sound of my voice as much as I liked talking. But then about 4 or 5 years ago, when I started to like the sound of my voice, well, I can't see why I would ever stop talking. In fact, if someone followed me around with the camera and recorded everything I said and did, that would be my gift to the earth. That I would leave it there for posterity because really and truly, when I talk, I'm talking about the experiences that I've had in my life. And I've done a great deal of things, a lot of different things, which means I've made lots and lots of mistakes. And fortunately, God has blessed me with an ability to live with what I've done and what I haven't done. So I don't, the only reticence about me saying about my experiences is the people that I had the experience with. Some of them may not be so open to sharing what they experience to the rest of the world. I, on the other hand, have no qualms about it because there's so many, many teaching moments, no matter what it is that I did. I'm probably not the only one that did it, and I'm probably not the only one that could profit from the lesson I learned while doing it. Watch me. I'm gonna let Ali say something now. I'm gonna chill for a minute, and if you don't say anything in like 3 seconds, I'm gonna be on it again.
Believe me, this man will talk. talk, Allie. So I would just begin talking now before he gets the chance to say anything else.
1001. She's talking to you, Ali.
Allie, I'm waiting.
Ali, you're muted. You're muted.
Yeah, I was muted. I'm sorry. First of all, Victor, you are hilarious. I don't have much content after you. I mean, I love that background. I love that shirt that you're wearing. It's outstanding. You're looking absolutely, you're full of cheer and you're so jubilant right now. Thank you so much for bringing in such positive vibes. Beginning with your flattering and praises. Hello there. My name is Ali Reza Khan, and I hope I'm audible to you guys. As you can see behind me, the Pakistan flag. I am from Pakistan. That is a huge indication. I belong to Sindh, which is an international province, and because Karachi is in it. And along with that, I love talking to people. And for those of you watching, I have a story to share today. Planet Union is actually very special to me because this is where I met Carla for the very first time. Wow, what a special platform. And so this platform will always have a special place in my heart, no matter what, because this is where my journey with Carla actually began. So yeah.
Hello, Win. Unmute yourself. Let's hear what you got to say, because you look pretty enough to hear something out of your mouth. So unmute yourself and let's hear it. Unmute yourself. Let's hear.
Okay, I actually quite often mute myself because otherwise it makes noise echoing. Well, thank you so much.
No. I was talking to Win, not you. I was talking to Win.
Oh, you mean Huang?
Oh,
is that how you say that?
She didn't unmute herself. You don't have her name right. And Rashid, you need to connect your devices or I cannot bring you to the show. Thank you. Huang, introduce yourself.
Thank you so much for asking me. Yes, my name is... Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Very well. No problem.
Thank you so much. My name is Huang. I'm from Vietnam. You can see my name and my country name on the screen, right? And I'm living and working in the city named Việt Trì City. It's about 100 kilometers away from Hanoi, the capital of Vietnam. Yes, and I have been teaching economics and doing international business for more than 16 years, and here with more than 10,000 students in northern part of Vietnam. Yep, thank you.
Thank you. Rashid, welcome.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Introduce yourself, Rashid.
Can you hear me, sir?
Yes.
Yes.
I'm not.
Okay, I'm Rashid.
Whoa. People remember that when you are on StreamYard, you need to mute yourself when you are not talking. And that goes for me right now.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. I am Rashid Shagar. I am from Bangladesh. I am new here. I am not good at English. Just I am now a beginner. And when I'm searching this platform, because if you are regularly coming this platform, then our English will be fluency will become so automatically. That's why I am very much eager to participate these platforms. Okay.
Okay, Rashid, number one, this is not the English show, although you are here to speak in English. So I'm going to give you 2 tips, but this is not the English show. This is something different. We are talking and getting to know each other. One tip is you need to speak slower. so we can understand you. I am speaking slower than I would be if I was only speaking to Vincent, because I know that people around the world with different languages have different sounds. So one is speaking slower. Number two, which is even more important than anything, is learning to listen, using your ears more than your mouth. God gave us 2 ears. We can hear real well with those 2 ears, but we don't always use them because we want to use our mouths. So what I need you to begin thinking about is speaking slower, but also using your ears. Okay, you're real good at this, Victor. I'm going to let you ask him some questions.
Well, I'll ask Ali a question first. Ali, you're 14 years old. 14 years old. Now, I think back about when I was 14 years old. When I was 14 years old, I was in the 9th grade. I was a student at C.A. Brown High School, and my English teacher was N.C. Williams, and I had no idea what the rest of the world was. I was in Charleston, South Carolina, and I'm hearing my echo. So let's turn off my speech. Rashid, why don't you tell us about what you were doing when you were 14?
I couldn't hear you after Varisha just entered because the voice was just echoing. So if possible, I'm really sorry if you can repeat the last few lines. Thank you.
I can hear echo. I can't hear any echo right now. Is my audio doing okay? Carla, you're muted, so you can't hear what you're saying.
Your audio is perfect right now, Victor. And I want to suggest that when we bring people in, and that's me, that we tell people that they need to stay muted and they remember that in StreamYard, one mic can be open at one time. Okay, Victor, go on. Talk to my buddy, Ali.
So, Ali, what I'm saying is when I was 14, I was in the 9th grade. I was in a very small community, and my life consisted of the people I went to school with and the people I lived with. Now, the reason I went to school, I loved going to school. I loved high school. I loved all the interaction, but it was nowhere near the world stage like where you find yourself at 14. Can you even imagine what it's like to just be going to school every day and interacting with just the children in your school?
Well, for me, the situation is a bit different right now because of the lockdown. And I know that we're not supposed to talk about COVID here. But yeah, it's a fact. I remember that, Carla.
This is a different platform. You can mention it, but we will not go into depth of talking about it. So
okay, sure.
You can say, "Oh, I'm doing this because of COVID." That's okay.
Okay, thank you for informing. So yeah, the situation is a bit different for me. Schools are, closed, and of course, the whole planet is suffering from this pandemic. It's worst. It's getting aggravated here in Pakistan. Situation is not that good. It is, worsening every single day. Cases are increasing, and hopefully, there's hope. There's a hope for something positive in the future. So schools are closed, and we all know how awful it is. So right now, I'm in 9th grade, attending my Zoom classes every morning. And taking lessons online. And yes, there are a few things that I miss. I miss my friends, of course. I miss all the physical activities that we used to do. So my 14 years old self, I think COVID, to be honest, this may sound a bit absurd to people that Ali is saying this on record. I know that people have lost their loved ones, they've lost their jobs, they've lost their food, they've lost their survival things. But for me, COVID brought a huge change in my life, and that too in a positive way. Like, for example, before I did not had much time to spend with my family, with my parents. But now I get a lot of time to talk to them and, have tea time and have dinner and lunch together. And also, I have started reading a lot of books because since are in lockdown since last year, you won't believe I have read almost 35 books. I love books. So I think that's a huge difference that I made during the pandemic, and I took full advantage of this. So yeah, this is how I'm spending my 14 years old self, trying to being more sophisticated, and trying to make myself engaged in extracurricular activities. And of course, I made a huge connection on social media. I have met with so many people over the past few months. It's amazing. And Varisha, indeed, is a good friend of mine. She's here, right here, smiling, and she's so excited to meet us. So let's see what these guys have to have for us today. And yeah, did I just was I too long? Let me know, Victor.
Of course, you weren't too long. You're only too long if you're boring.
Was I boring?
No, that's a rule of life. As long as you're not boring, you can't talk too long. Well, Risha, why don't you unmute yourself and tell us a little about you, and also share what was it like for the 14-year-old Marisha? Unmute yourself.
Marisha, you need to close your Facebook page. That is the problem. Once you close the Facebook page, I'll let you speak. But get that closed. That's the noise in the background. Okay? Ali, can you help her with that so she understands what I'm saying? Maybe say it in Urdu.
Yeah, sure. वरिशा, आप जो है ना, अगर आपका फेसबुक खुला हुआ है तो आप उसे बंद कर दें URL में जाके, एंड जब आप आपको बात करनी है तो फिर अनम्यूट करें. जब कोई और बात कर रहा है तो मेक श्योर दैट यू आर म्यूटेड. आई नो यू आर अ वाइस गर्ल, सो लेट्स सी.
Okay, I'm going to do that.
Speak.
Everything is fine here.
Yeah, it's fine now.
So I was telling about my 14-year-old self. When I was 14 years old, I used to go school. I had 5 days of classes in a week, and that time was not a bit good than the time I'm spending today on social media and engaging with people and taking interviews, and the best interviews I had with Ali. So I think that at that time, the most thing which I learned from that was that people should spend some time interviewing and engaging with people, because COVID has given the best choice to read books, to watch some movies which can change your life, and to interact with people. I think that's the best thing which I'm learning today.
Thank
well,
you.
You didn't talk long enough. Now there's more to say.
Marisha,
Yes.
speak more, but let us know more about
Okay, so nowadays I am reading book and interviewing people, And as Ali had given me the best suggestion for reading the book 40 Rules of Love, so I am trying to complete it and watching videos about that book. And now my next goal is to interview you, Carla. Will you give me your interview?
Yes, but you're asking me online. I'd rather you not. Yes, I will. For sure.
I would be so
Someone, close your mics, please. Someone has their Facebook page on. You need to get rid of it. That is why why I was echoing. So if you have your Facebook page open, please get rid of it now. And that goes for everyone. It just doesn't work. You need to mute the page. Okay, Barisha, I'm muting myself.
I would be so glad to take your interview, Carla, and be a friend of yours, as Halia told me some insights about you. I'm so excited to join this interview, to join this show, and something more about my life going on. It's
Barisha, I am more than happy to do that. Ali, do me a favor, make a group with you, me, and Barisha, and I'll take care of it. I will respond for sure. Anything else, Barisha, that you'd like to say?
no, nothing else.
Carla, we have a new person, I believe, someone I've never met.
Okay,
Looks like
it's done. I'm done.
Yocheved.
Yeah, we have with us. I want to point out that we have the United States, which you know we have. We have Pakistan. We have Vietnam. And guess what? We also have Israel. Yocheved, I've known for a few months now.
Sorry, could you repeat it? I can't hear you.
Barisha, you need. Please stay muted when someone else is talking. Otherwise, it does not work. If you cannot hear me, Ali, help her. She may need to go out and reboot and come back. So now we have Yocheved, who lives. Oh, Yocheved, I am really embarrassed. You don't live in Jerusalem, but I believe you live near Jerusalem or you live near Tel Aviv, but I'm guessing Jerusalem. And you are muted, and I will unmute you.
Okay. So I live in Ramat Beit Shemesh, which is in between Jerusalem and Tel Aviv, although not on a straight line. Not too far from either one.
Introduce yourself, please.
Okay. So I have lived in Israel for 20 some odd years. I am originally from the States, from the United States. So English is my native language. I actually work in Israel as a translator. I translate material from Hebrew to English. Virtually all of the work I do is online, so I haven't been affected too much by the health situation throughout the world. What else? I have a degree in Jewish studies. I like languages. I like sociology. I like studying other cultures. And I also do some matchmaking as a volunteer. I think that's a reasonable introduction.
What was the 14-year-old you like?
14. Let's see. I was in high school. Ninth grade was not a good year for me. I was not particularly happy there. I was a good student. I always liked to read, and school wasn't a problem for me. I don't think I did too much else. I was probably a geek, which I still somewhat am. And I spent a lot of time in school because we did a dual program. We did Judaic studies in the morning and secular studies in the afternoon. So when I was in ninth grade, I had school from like 8:30 in the morning to like 5:30 in the afternoon. So there wasn't that much going on other than school and homework. Yeah.
Now, when I was in the ninth grade, we got in trouble for talking in class and chewing gum in class. What kind of problems did teenagers give to teachers when you were 14?
Talking in class, I think, is always there. That's probably the main one. I don't remember too much else. Well, I think I missed if Varisha said how old she is or what grade she's in. Can she answer that?
I am 17 years old and I have passed my 12th class and now towards university.
Okay. So they would be in position though. When I was 14, it was a long time back. So the kids will have a better idea now of what the issues are.
Miss Wong, you haven't said very much. What about your 14-year-old? And please tell me, what do your friends call you? Do they call you Wong? Do they call you Win? What do you say when you answer the phone? Hello, what do you say?
Thank you, sir. Please call me Huang. Yes, Huong. Huang. Yes. And yeah, let me report about my childhood. My 14 years old. Oh my God, that's very beautiful. With my friends. Yeah, with my childhood, a lot of activities. We have enjoyed a lot. Yeah, and we have a beautiful river there, and a lot of trees and fruits to pick up. And also we went swimming and played a lot of activities together. Games. We have a lot of traditional games to play, to enjoy together. And I remember that I was very naughty. I was a little naughty girl of my parents as well. Yeah. And they always had to keep their eyes on me because I could climb very high on the tree, So that's very dangerous, but I couldn't know that why I could do that. So even my parents, they punish me or they reminded me a lot. But that's kind of my hobbies and my favorite thing to do. Yep. Thank you.
So you see, Ali, our 14-year-old is a lot different from your 14-year-old. One thing I actually recall when I was 14 is that when the news would come on occasionally, because if you could believe this, the television wasn't on 24 hours a day. The television would sign off at night at like 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning. They would play the Star Spangled Banner in America. I don't know about the other countries, but they played the Star Spangled Banner in America, and the television went off. If you could believe that. But on the rare time when I was able to watch the news, and the news was only on for an hour per day, I noticed that the people my age, and that would be people in other countries, they were more aware of current events than I was. And they seemed to speak intelligently about whatever was going on. And so it seemed that they were smarter than we were in America. I remember this little kid, about 9 or 10 years old, he was discussing the ills of this despot named Idi Amin Idi Amin Dada of Uganda. And I thought, wow, that was a bright kid. Would you say that, let's go, Yokoved, would you say that when you were 14, the people in your circle, were they aware of current events, or was it just like something that they heard of?
There was some awareness. I think probably in general, Americans are a little inner focused, but big news items, I think we would be aware of. Not in a lot of detail, not every different thing. It had to be big, the big ticket item in countries that we had heard of. I know, look, Israel's very international. You come across tons and tons of countries and immigrants from all over the world, and we don't necessarily know much about them. And even within American history and geography, also, Americans really can't do geography. I happen to be particularly bad. I have no sense of direction, like on the smaller level, either getting places. So I'm really bad with geography. But I think most other countries, language, geography, all of that. America's such a big country, like we don't bother with anybody else somehow. That was many years in developing. And actually, we've been recently reading a mystery series that's set in Alaska, which is an American state. And it's amazing how much of the history I had never heard of. And I even went to Alaska once. But, there was this big battle in World War II, the Battle of Attu. I looked it up. I Googled it. It was a big deal thing and never heard of it. The Japanese actually landed in Alaska. It was one of the only places where the U.S. in World War II was attacked in its own country, fighting on its own land. Didn't know about it. So, for better or for worse.
Thank you. Warisha, since you're 17, I'd like to find out, like, in your years now, see, I know when I was 14, I know what was the biggest event in my life. What would you say in your life right now is the biggest event that has occurred? Except for that pesky word that we're experiencing now.
Okay. I think my exams, my inter exams, which I have given, they are the event which has changed, and because we have to give exams of 6 subjects, but that reduced to 3 subjects because of COVID. And that was the best news and the best event in my life, that I'm going to give only 3 exams with reduced scores. I think that was the best event, and the event that occurred in my life.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's go back to Ali. Ali, you're the actual real 14-year-old. So what would you say, minus the thing we're experiencing now, what is the biggest event in your life at this time? I mean, something that if you were to leave here today, this event would stick out in your mind. What was that?
That's a good question. I think there's a lot that a 14 years old go through when one reaches that certain age. Actually, I think this from 13 years to 15 years, these are very important years in our lives. We go through lots of thoughts in our minds. We are introduced to lots of new things. At least that's what I have experienced. I don't know about others. Like, for example, now this may be confidential for me. I may not be allowed, and I'm forbidden to tell this to anyone. But like, for example, there are lots of thoughts that come in our minds, and then we question our parents about it. And sometimes those embarrassing conversations do occur. And this is very normal. It's very natural for humans and for us. And I think we should go through those conversations. My parents, I come from a very progressive Khan family. So we are not afraid to talk about controversial things at our houses, we talk about them very normally and very conventionally, and that's exactly what we've been. This is something that my parents have inculcated in me over the years, and that is to be, welcoming to ideas and to think creatively. And yeah, for me, I think the biggest event that you were talking about is, I think it was probably talking and being a keynote speaker at the Toastmasters Leaders Worldwide. Because of course I always wanted to talk on Toastmasters, and just last month I did that. I was invited and I was so happy and I was full of euphoria. And Carla, guess what? I just got the footage. Wow, yeah, I just got it today. And yeah, Yocheved, I don't know if this is the right way to pronounce your name. It's a fun fact for me that when I met Carla for the very first time, Yocheved was a part of that conversation. So we three were there when I met Carla for the very first time. So thank you so much. And then I quite often was wondering, where has this woman gone? Suddenly I never saw you again. And I was just thinking about it, and I'm so glad that, Carla, you are doing this again. I hope this is going to happen quite often, because I love the concept of Planet Union, because it's bringing people together, and it's tremendously outstanding, and you're doing a wonderful job. So yeah, the biggest event which I'll remember forever in my life, and that is something that has been on my bucket list from such a long time, is speaking on Toastmasters Leaders Worldwide. And all the flattering, the tremendous, and that massive response that I got was so overwhelming. And I'm still so full of gratitude for all the flattering and praises, and full of compliments that I got from such big visionaries. So I'm looking forward to lots of other ventures in life, but this was probably the one that'll stay with me forever. I'll never forget the day when I spoke at the Toastmasters Club. It was especially 2021. I made lots of friends. I made good bond with Carla. Of course, I met Victor and all these beautiful ladies. So thank you. This is probably the most notable event that happened to me in 2021 and in my 14 years age.
Hey, Carla, how about you now? You remember when you were 14? When you were 14, Carla, what would you say was because I have one, I'll tell you mine when I'm finishing everybody else. What would you say was the biggest event, the single thing that happened in your life when you were 14? It might have happened before you were 14, but when you were 14, this was a big thing. What do you think that was?
I have no idea about 14, but something popped into my mind right away when you asked that question, and I wanted to join in, but you were doing such a great job. I remember, or I don't remember how old I was. I could have been close to 14 when the guy, and I don't remember the names, but I remember the first walk on the moon. And being
Neil Armstrong.
Thank you. It was Neil Armstrong, and I remember sitting in my classroom, and we were watching it on TV because it was such a big thing. The principal allowed us to watch all of this on TV, and he walked on the moon. And that popped into my mind immediately when you asked that question. And I think I was a little younger than that, but that's what popped in. I didn't have the greatest of school days, so I don't really remember them really well. I remember certain things like certain people, but what happened, and I remember very clearly when John F. Kennedy died. I remember what I was wearing, even what I was wearing, and where I was standing in the hallway going to social studies when the announcement was made. And
Well,
that's
that
a
to
very
me, that's my big event. And I remember when I was 14, I remember the first American assassination. In 1963, John F. Kennedy was assassinated in Dallas, and I was in the 5th grade in Charleston, South Carolina. That's the biggest thing that happened by the time I was 14. And that was also the first time that I saw something live on television. Jack Ruby, who was affiliated with the guy who was convicted for killing Kennedy, Jack Ruby was on television. Think of this is 1963. He was on television and they had cameras as they were escorting him from one jail cell to another jail cell. No, not Jack Ruby. Lee Harvey Oswald, the guy who got accused of killing President Kennedy. Jack Ruby, you could see him. It was like on live TV. It was so fascinating. You saw him coming back from in the audience, and he moved closer to the camera, and he moved closer to Lee Harvey Oswald, and took his little pistol out and shot Lee Harvey Oswald. That was the first thing that happened live on television. Well, that was my big event by the time I was 14. But moving along the lines of monopolizing the conversation, when you mentioned Neil Armstrong, I thought of this story, right? And the story goes like this. When Neil Armstrong walked on the moon, he was heard to say something like, one great step for mankind, or something along those lines. And under his breath, he said, "Enjoy, Kowalski, enjoy." And so all his life, everybody wanted to know what he meant by "enjoy, Kowalski, enjoy, Kowalski." And he wouldn't tell anybody. And finally, about 20, 30 years later, Mr. Kowalski died, right? And so after because it turns out that Mr. Kowalski lived next door to Neil Armstrong when he was a boy. Neil Armstrong was a boy. He lived next to Mr. and Mrs. Kowalski. And Neil Armstrong was underneath their house and he was playing. And this is in response to, what did you say? What did you mean by enjoy Kowalski? And he was under the house playing. And he heard Mrs. Kowalski yelling at Mr. Kowalski saying, "Cook for you, cook for you. Yeah, I'll cook for you, all right. When that Armstrong kid next door walks on the moon, I'll cook something for you." And that's what he meant when he said enjoy Kowalski. He hoped that Mr. Kowalski enjoyed the meal that Mrs. Kowalski made for him. That's my Neil Armstrong story. Every time I hear his name, I think of that.
That's a great story. I wonder if Long has any interesting stories to tell when she was 14 or a teenager. Long, this mic is yours.
Yeah, thank you so much. And I have shared that. Oh my God, I have had a lot of stories. And another story I want to share with you, like I got the chance to approach money when I was very young and like a very like a early age, because my parents, they was businessmen. They had a lot of business, so that's why they asked me to collect money from like buyers. They bought products from my parents, so at the end of the day, I helped my parents to collect money. So that's why at that time I was very rich. Actually, I mean, 25 years ago, 25 years ago, I always brought like a 2 or 3 thousand along with me, 3,000 US dollars. Yeah. So, yeah, so that's why I decided to study about business and business administration and economics as well. Yes, that's a very like good memory about that. I could count money very quickly. I don't know, but that's kind of the skill and training from very early stage, right? Yeah.
I just want to break in here and acknowledge everyone here everyone here except for myself and Carla, I acknowledge all of you for taking on English and speaking the language, because I don't speak any other languages. And to be able to articulate in English as well as you are, I think that deserves special mention, and I'm going to mention it specially. Thank you very much for taking the time, because if you didn't do what you did, if you didn't take the effort and learn and master English, I wouldn't have been blessed with being able to hear your stories. So thank you.
Yeah,
Unmute yourself, Carla.
I am proud of two of the people because they have been coming to my English show for a long time. Huang has been working at it for a long time, and look how she has grown tremendously. Ali came speaking English. I'm not sure where he learned, but even though he came speaking English, I liked the fact that he's so humble and still a child doing this on a regular basis. So I send kudos to both of these kids. Now, Warisha is new to me, so hopefully she'll come to the kids' show today and we will speak more in English. Ali, you look like you wanted to say something.
Not actually. Actually, someone just sent me a joke and it's hilarious, so I'd like to share it. I don't know why this person's sending me such hilarious jokes. He said, a man tells his doctor, "Doc, help me. I'm addicted to Twitter." The doctor replies, "Sorry, I don't follow you." Does that make any sense? So I don't know, it's a lame joke or it's a real joke, but I know why these people are sending me these jokes.
Priceless. That's priceless, man. That's very good.
Oh, really? I don't know why this is sending me these jokes. Well,
with the Ali, we do need to laugh more.
Yeah.
And I've been doing a lot more of that on Clubhouse in the past day or two, and I'm taking on a challenge for everyone to come laugh with me every day for 5 minutes, and they can either see it on replay or they can do it on their own, come when I'm there or whatever. But I believe that if everyone smiled and laughed more, the world would be more peaceful. So can we laugh a little, guys? If
Ali, you don't get that joke, Ali? You don't get that joke? Really?
I can actually tell you guys some more amazing jokes.
No, but that one's good. Sorry, I don't follow you. That's a technique called double entendre, where you have a double meaning, right? Because he doesn't follow him. He could be saying, "I don't understand you," but what he's really saying is, "I don't read your Twitter." That's what I don't follow you. I'm going to tell that one at my Toastmasters meeting the next time I'm the joke master.
I have another one.
Good.
Okay, so the same person has sent me this again. I don't know why he's been sending me. Maybe he's very much into jokes. He says, "Why do bees have sticky hair?" And someone replies, "Because they use honeycombs." This is right.
Any more?
I'm looking for them.
Does anyone else have a joke? It doesn't matter how silly it is. What does a frog wear? Does anyone know what a frog wears?
I wish I knew.
A jumpsuit.
I mean, really, what else would he wear, right? So a policeman sees a guy walking down the street with a monkey on his shoulder, right? And the policeman says to him, "Boy, you better take that monkey to the zoo." So the guy turned around, left, right? The next day, he saw the guy again, still had the monkey on his shoulder. The police says, "Man, I thought I told you to take that monkey to the zoo." He says, "I did, but today I'm taking him to the movies."
Yo, Kevin, do you have any jokes? I'm sure you do.
Unmute you, Kevin.
Hey, fuck you guys. You guys suck. You're a faggot.
I asked if jokes have to be puns.
You should describe what you shared today on Facebook.
Give us what you got, you Kevin. Just give us what you got.
Okay, so, well, I can share something that I shared on Facebook. But all right, it's a little bit visual, so I'll have to just explain it. It shows a picture of somebody with a calculator, and you see the number 130 on it, and then you see the feet, the woman's feet by the side of the calculator, as if she's standing on a scale. It says, "Sometimes you have to create your own happiness."
It's a nice one. Yeah, I like it.
Thank you.
I like
The other one said something like, "I posted a picture of my clean house on Facebook today. It got flagged and removed as fake news." So,
I still want to give you the crown, Ali. That "I don't follow you" was priceless.
Warisha, do you have a joke for us or something to make us smile? Warisha, turn on your mic.
I don't have a joke, but I had some conversation between me and my little cousin. He says me by nickname. He says me Brad. He has put in Brad. In Urdu, it's called double roti. And I called him Tandoor by nickname. He is so small. I share my happiness with him. So he makes me laugh, and I don't have any jokes, but I had him. He is like a TV show for me because he dances, he sings, he says what he likes. So he is like a movie to me. When he comes to my house, he tells all his day events and things about his friends. That he says that I will put you in a jail with my friend Ali and Muhammad. So don't fight with me, or I will put you in the jail. He talks like this, so I like that.
Hello.
Thank you, Warisha. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Warisha. We do want you talking. Okay, Halong, anything funny you want to share with us?
Yes, so the stories were that the parent asked their child so now you have two oranges, so now I will give you two more oranges, so plus two, so how many oranges do you have? But the parents they expected that the number 4, right? But the child told his parents that I had 5 oranges. So yeah, everybody got surprised. Why did you have 5 oranges? So yeah, very simply talking that, oh, my sister gave me 1, so I have 3. Now you gave me 2, so of course I have 5. Yes. So actually, sometimes we thought that that's one, 2 plus 2, but equal 4, but it's not like we expect, right? Yes.
So her sister had one that they didn't know about.
Yes. Yes.
Well, most jokes have a grain of truth in them. That's why they're jokes. I seem to be a specialist in jokes. Only I get a better feel for them when I'm talking about it in context, like when she mentioned Neil Armstrong. That's one of my favorite ones. Is anyone here other than me a Toastmaster?
I'm going to become one, I believe.
Well, when I became a Toastmaster, I thought I had all that, but I can't even tell you how much better I've grown, how much more I've grown since I joined Toastmasters. I just heard a noise in my ear. Can you still hear me okay? Okay, fantastic. Well, Carla, it's your show, so I'm going to stop monopolizing it and give you back your mic.
You're doing such a good job, and I have 2 more to go do today. That wasn't why I invited you, Victor, believe me, but you're doing so great. Does anyone want to share what your biggest dream in life is? And we don't have much time. Actually, we only have about 4 more minutes. But tell me what your dream is in life in just a very, very few words. And Kevin, you seem to be reaching for your mic. So.
Well, I was actually going to suggest that we let the younger people answer that. That's really what I was thinking, to turn to Ali and Warisha, who still have a long road.
Okay, I'm a younger person.
I had a dream.
In my mind.
Okay, Kevin. So let's go on to, you're a younger person, Victor?
No, that was my joke. It's Ali's turn.
Come on, Ali. One dream.
Yeah, thank you. So very quickly, I want to take permission from Carla. I want to show a magic trick here, like magic, something very interesting. So am I allowed to show?
Okay. Just remember, I need to be somewhere else in about 4 minutes.
Okay. So as you guys can see, I have an apple right here in my hand. You guys can see it. It's an apple. Okay. And in a moment, it'll be in the air. Okay. I'll show you. There's no thread. There's nothing. It's just that it's an apple, and this is going to be in the air. This is going to float right now. Are you guys ready? See, there's nothing. It's going to float. Okay.
You're holding it by your thumb.
No.
No.
You have your thumb inside that apple and you're holding it.
No. Not at all, Warisha.
I have seen this trick on the TV.
Okay, so this was the trick I wanted to I don't know if this was fascinating, but I just wanted to entertain the audience.
Well, thanks for the entertainment.
Thank you, Ali. Thank you very much.
Yes, we're very thankful. Warisha, do you have a dream you want to share with us?
A dream? Do you
Yeah.
My dream?
Yeah.
Okay, my dream is to educate Pakistan intermediate students. My dream is to educate them.
Escape your own.
You were muted, Carla. We didn't hear anything.
Well, I muted myself because I began echoing. Anyway, we have come to an hour, and I really want to thank Victor for being such a wonderful, wonderful host. I want to thank Ali and Yocheved and Marisha and Huang for joining us. And we will be back next month for another Planet Union meetup. And with that, can we wave goodbye? No one go anywhere. Wave goodbye. And we're ending.